Hey everybody, welcome back to another virtual church service. Thank you for being here. And today for church, we're going to ask a question. And that question is this: how do you talk about God? Yeah, how do you talk about God? Now, I'm not interested in your theologies. I'm not interested in your doctrines. I'm interested in the words. How do you talk about God? How do you talk about that something bigger than yourself, that reverent, sacred, divine mystery? How do you talk about that? Think about it for a second. Do you use words like Spirit, or Father, Lord, Jesus, Christ, God, Abba? What words do you use? What images do you use? Mother, Father, King, mystery, source. What words do you use? Now, it doesn't matter which ones you use, really. But it does matter that we think about it. Because as Abraham Heschel would say, words matter. Words create worlds. And by that, he means that how we talk, the words we use, the language we use, it shapes our reality. It shapes how we see things. It shapes how we interact with things. It shapes how we understand things. And that's especially true when it comes to how we talk about the divine. Because think about it for a second. What would it be like if we worshiped a God that we described as the almighty warrior? How would that shape how you deal with conflict? Or what if we talked about God as the ambivalent watcher? This God who is far away, distant, and detached, and didn't really give a rip about our world. How would that impact things like hope? How would that impact the way you see yourself? Yeah, it would change everything, wouldn't it? And that's why words matter. That's why how we talk about God matters. Now, in our tradition, there are all kinds of ways to talk about the divine. We listed a whole bunch of them already. And if you look throughout the Bible, you can find some beautiful ones, and you can find some weird ones. But one that I've been sitting with for a while is found in the book of Jeremiah. This ancient Hebrew story about a guy named Jeremiah, a prophet. And in this one story, it talks about how God, get ready for this, how God is like a potter. How God is like this potter who sits behind her wheel, constantly shaping and reshaping, molding the clay. But this potter who never throws it out when it falls apart, but instead fixes it, reshapes it, remolds it, works with it. And it talks about how this God never finishes a project, who never puts it in the fire saying it's now done, but instead will constantly make it and remake it, constantly turning it into something more, something new again and again and again. This story says God is like that. God is like a potter. Now, this is beautiful for all kinds of reasons. First of all, it says how God is actually here, how God is with us and for us, how God is a hands-on kind of God. And second, and even more importantly, if you can get more important than that, it says to us that our lives and our worlds, they aren't fixed, they aren't finished, they aren't final. But our lives and our world are open, malleable, and flexible. It tells us that our lives and our world are filled with the capacity, the possibility to become something more. That baked into all of this is this generative creativity. Yeah, sit with that for a moment. Marinate in that for a moment. Because that tells us that baked into all of this is the ability to hope that we and our world don't have to be like this, that it doesn't have to be this way, but that we can become something different. Yeah, how beautiful is that? We can become something more. We don't have to live like this. It doesn't have to be that way. But we can have the hope to become something different, that our world has the hope to become something more. For those of you struggling through something right now, who day after day after day experience the same thing, the same struggles, yeah, you can become something more. For those of you who have this thing that you're constantly working on, yeah, you can get through that. You can get past that. For those of you who consider that their lives, their ideas, and their thoughts fixed and final, well, guess what? There's still the opportunity to learn and grow and become something different. Yeah, life is stretchy. That's what we mean by grace. There's always the ability, the second chance to grow, become, learn, and do better. Yeah. What would that mean for how we live in the world? What would that mean for how we see ourselves, for how we see others? How would that change everything? So this week, I want you to go out and practice thinking about God as a potter. What would that mean for learning new habits? What would that mean for learning new ideas, for coming into new things? What would that mean for our world? Yeah, I wonder if it would change everything. I wonder how God as a potter could lead us all into new lives and a new world. So my friends, that is your work tonight. That's all our work. Thinking about God as a potter. And let that image, let that idea go to work, knowing that God isn't far away, but God is here with us and for us, constantly giving us the ability to learn, to grow, and to become something new. So my friends, may you allow God to go to work, and may grace and peace be with you.